Hey guys, this is Spooks and Crimes with episode 54. I'm Amy with my co-host JB. And this episode is kind of like a superstitious, paranormal type thing. If you believe in aliens type thing, it's just kind of like a mix up of basically what you kind of want to believe.
Okay.
So this is about Sabina and Ursula Eriksson. They were born November 3rd, 1967 in Sweden. They had an older sister, Mona, and an older brother, Bjorn. B-J-O. Bjorn. Okay. Born. They all grew up with a normal lifestyle. No one suffered from any abuse growing up. There was no history of any type of mental health issues on either the mom or dad's side. None of the kids actually suffered from anything like that. In the year 2000, Ursula was living in the United States, and Sabina, I keep wanting to call her Sabrina, but that's not her name, so apologies. She was living in Ireland with her husband and two kids. In May of 2008, Ursula went and visited her sister Sabina, but no one knows exactly why she actually showed up, especially across like one of them's living in the United States and the other one's on the other, and you randomly just like show up, so nobody can actually understand why.
So this wasn't a planned visit.
No, it was literally unexpected.
Okay.
From what they know.
Okay.
They don't have any proof that this was planned. Sometime in the middle of the night, the twins decided that they were going to just get up and leave. They took a ferry to England and went to the police station. From where they were at, they went to a different spot with the ferry. From what I Googled, it was literally like from where they left to the other spot was literally like an 8 to 9 hour ride by ferry.
Wow, that's a long.
Yeah. As soon as they got to the other side, they went to the police station and asked the police to do a welfare check on Sabina's kids. But because the kids were in a different
country,
jurisdiction, I guess it's technically the same kind of country, but it's just like you're on one side, like I guess there's a lake.
So one wasn't. They were going to England, correct?
One sister lived in the United States.
Right.
One lived in Ireland.
Yeah,
Ireland. She traveled over to Ireland. So yeah, I guess they were taking the ferry to go over to England. So when I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine because I don't even know. Because the story itself, like even when you Google it, like it's confusing because they really don't have too much information on like how the travel thing went. But I guess when they got to one part, they told the police to do a welfare check on her kids where she was originally from.
And they said they couldn't because that wasn't their jurisdiction.
Right.
But they could possibly call somebody.
They called the police.
Okay.
They called the police and that jurisdiction. There you go. To do the welfare check, and the police in Sweden finally got a hold of Sabina's husband and the kids, and they also learned that Sabina and her husband had an argument the exact same night that her and her sister decided to leave. When the twins got to England, they got onto a bus and they began to act crazy, weird, and erotic. The bus driver said that the twins could have been under the influence, but when he pulled the bus over and asked the girls to be able to check their bags because of the way their whole demeanor and everything was, he was like, no, like something's going on with them. So he literally pulled the bus over and he was like, I need to see what's in your bags. Like, because like they were literally like chest tight, arms crossed with their bags. So he was like, I need to see what's in those bags because something isn't right with you guys. They refused. So he took them to the next yeah, it's called a different word in this country. But yeah, the next bus stop basically. And even though it was not on the route, he still stopped by there. He told him straight up. He stopped at the place. He told the manager that um like how they were acting, like how they were acting and everything else. So he was like, listen, call the cops. Either way, they're not getting back on my bus. I'm getting back on route. Fuck you. I'm out. He got on his shit. He went. So the manager actually started watching him for a while, and then she decided to call the local police to come out because the twins, because of how they were acting. So the police showed up to talk to the twins, and they decided that they were harmless, and they left. They figured, I guess, nothing was going on with them. Shortly after the police left, Ursula and Sabina also left. They began to walk down Highway M6, which is basically like for us would be like I-4, I-75.
Oh, so super busy highway.
Yes, I-275, I-285, Route 101. I try to cover a lot of the big roads in the United States. I'm sorry. But it's an extremely big highway. There is literally more than 3 lanes in this. 3 lanes or more, I will say. Security cameras that they actually had on the highway, the women, or I can't say women, but the people who were watching the security cameras, seeing the sisters walking in between the median, like, say you have 2-3 lanes going southbound, then you got 2-3 lanes going forward. They were literally in the median,
like that little grassy area with that has the barricades in it.
Yes, they were walking down that way.
Oh shit.
So then that's when the sisters decided that they were just going to walk out in traffic. Both sisters end up hitting 2 different cars, but thankfully for the cars and the sisters, the cars happened to slow down a hell of a lot of time.
What were they doing? Were they trying to cross the road, or were they intentionally trying to get hit by a vehicle?
Nobody knows. This is not even where it ends. So by the time that all this happens, the police, because the people on the security cameras are watching them, right? So they see this happening. They immediately call the police and the ambulance. They show up, and more cops show up. And this time, I think before this, though, the ambulances and the actual cops showed up to make sure that the girls were okay. They were fine. There was a group of cops that showed up, but they had like what would be for like America, like your cops. For Florida, it's literally called cops. Like, I don't know what other states it would be called, but where they have the national live cops chasing down people, freeze type thing shows. That's what this is what this TV show was doing. By this time they happened to show up. Both sisters were standing when this set of cops, when this set of cops and the news crew showed up. Both sisters were standing and they were talking to a police officer. It could have been a paramedic, I'm not really sure. They were still holding their bags as one of the cops walked over to the police officers that had the cameras recording. He walked over to the police to like explain to them what was going on.
Now, did anybody try to get the bags from them? Like was there something in the bags that were making them kind of?
At this point, they really don't know.
I was wondering if maybe something was in the bags that they were trying to protect. But so I don't know why they would go to a major highway and then.
Well, we do get to certain information. Ursula and Sabina was watching the traffic. Ursula saw her chance and she took it. The police officer grabbed her by her jacket, but Ursula was able to slip out of the jacket and was hit by they called it a lorry, I guess, Lorry. Which when I googled it, it's basically a semi truck. You have 8+ wheels. If you literally watch the fucking video, you can watch her body. Like, if you ever look at a semi truck and you see the back tires, how they're so close together. Like,
Yeah.
you got 2 and 2 on one side and then 2 and 2 on the other side. When you watch the video, it literally looks like if her body goes up in between the 2 4 tires on one fucking side. It's too much for me, and this is live video.
Yeah, I don't want to watch someone get killed by a semi truck.
She didn't die.
She got hit by a semi truck and she survived it?
Yes. Spoiler alert. Yeah, she didn't die.
What?
So when I'm sorry.
I don't understand that. Because they would have had to be going at high speeds, and if she went, it looked like she went under. I don't know. She must have went just right or something. That's crazy.
You can Google, like, you can literally Google the video, and you can literally, like, watch her body go up in, like, it fucks with me. Like, you can watch her body go up in between, and you can watch her sister.
Her sister gets hit by a semi truck?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
So what, after watching her sister, she thought it looked like fun? I don't understand.
Okay, I don't condone it, but I love it. Okay. Snatching her body in between the tires, crushing her legs, at least. At this point, Sabina, which is the other twin sister, saw her chance and she took it. She also struck the windshield of a Mercedes-Benz. What I also could have heard that it was a Volkswagen. In my opinion, what kind of car doesn't really fucking matter?
No,
A bitch literally jumped in front of your car.
She's still hitting a windshield.
So she got hit at least going 56 miles per hour.
Oh, she had to fuck that car windshield up.
Oh, it like, she didn't just fuck up the window. She literally, like, because you can see the shit on video, like the.
Oh, I feel bad for the drivers who hit these women.
So when I was watching the one video, like, it really, like, bothered me that the police literally went straight to the woman, which I understand. Like, she literally ran out there. She got ran over. You know, I understand you got to aid to her. But why is there not at least one other officer or news crew, somebody going over to the driver who literally ran that bitch over? Because in the actual video, if you watch it, you can see the driver walking out like, what the fuck? Like, he looks so off. Like, what the fuck just happened? And they're over there over her.
He's probably thinking, like, he just murdered.
Exactly. That would be my first reaction.
Even though it wasn't his fault, because he wasn't planning for somebody to run out in front of him.
Exactly.
And what about the driver of the other vehicle? They got to be like, because they could have actually got hurt because, you know, the airbag could have went off and messed them up.
And it was a decent sized car, like a Cadillac type car. Like, it was a pretty long car, but it was still enough to literally, like, get them fucked up because of the airbags. No. And it, from the videos, it really didn't show the officers or anybody going to help any of the drivers.
I'm assuming the one that hit the windshield survived. If the one who got ran over by the semi truck survived,
yes,
the one with the windshield should definitely have survived.
Yes.
I don't understand. These are just people, right?
Yes, this is why a lot of people are saying, oh, it's paranormal. Some people are saying that they were, you know, they had aliens connected to them.
And the thing is like, because if there's enough video of it, it has to have, you know,
And the thing is like when I first started like researching into this shit, I didn't like the main thing is that I kept coming across. I didn't believe what was being said, and like I was literally going back and back and back to listen to what was being said during the footage just to see if I could hear what it was said. But then when you get to the end of the fucking footage, you can hear these women screaming certain things. And yes, I am a believer of like aliens, paranormal, other spirits, other lives, things like that. I am a big believer in that. You can't tell me something was going on with them. I'm sorry, there's no fucking way. I will go into details to let you know why, because it's just weird. Okay, so Sabina she got hit by the Mercedes Benz or Volkswagen, we're not really sure, at 56 miles per hour. Police immediately started to stop traffic while the medics and the police ran over to help them. Sabina was knocked out for at least 15 minutes. She was the one that was hit by the actual car. She hit the windshield and the top of the vehicle. So she was knocked out for about 15 minutes. The other sister, the first one, which was, I believe, Ursula, she ran straight out in front of the 8+ wheeler, and she's the one that got her legs and shit crushed. The whole time, Ursula, which she was the one, like I said, just got her legs crushed and everything, she was refusing medical attention. She was scratching, spitting, and yelling at the police. She kept trying to get up and run away from them, and she kept screaming. And this is what I personally heard and what I read on comments too, but I've heard it. She was screaming, I have to do this, I have to do this.
So are they trying to kill themselves?
Nobody knows.
Oh, that's right.
Nobody knows, because by this statement where she says, I have to do this, I have to do this, around the same time she's saying this, Sabina, which was the one that hit the car,
and was knocked out for 15 minutes.
She wakes up and she starts just getting up like nothing even fucking happened to her.
She didn't get just
nothing. Police are trying to restrain her, and Sabina got up and started running to the other side of the highway. So you know how like you got traffic coming southbound, you got the median. She goes across the median to start going to vehicles going like northbound, for an example. So she's just like, fuck this shit, so fuck southbound. Yes, she's literally still going about this shit. She started running onto oncoming traffic. The police officers grabbed Sabina's arm, but Sabina gave, which if you watch the video, I'm sorry, like, it's a little funny. Like, she gave the police officer one hard ass punch that made the cop go straight down to the ground, and the lady's face was like, oh hell no, this shit just happened. Okay, so we're gonna take a little break to our this week's sponsor, and we'll jump back into it. Okay, so we said how she punched the cop and knocked him out. So luckily, traffic actually seen this on the other side. They seen everything that was going on, so they started slowing down and stopping. The same officer that got knocked out and another cop decided that they was going to chase Sabina down.
I feel like they really should have called for backup on this.
Yeah, I'm just saying, and I highly doubt they did it. I don't know why they would air this, but I'm assuming because this whole videotape made it to America, they literally posted it in that country.
You know, maybe it was like maybe it was one of those things like, nobody's gonna believe me, we have to put this out here.
Oh my god, that's so true, because we've had many of those moments like, ain't nobody gonna believe me. It's so crazy though. Okay, let me get back to it. So they chased her down. Sabina was out. Sabina was out there ready to fight the cop. She said, "You have to fight me for it." And she was also saying, "Help me."
Wait, she's telling the cop
She was literally,
ready to
she
fight
threw
for
her
him, but
blanket, like, she had a long sleeve jacket, sweater type thing where it was long sleeve, but it was like in the back, it was very long that like went down maybe to your ankles. Like it was, I don't know how you explain it. Like it's a very beautiful coat, like jacket,
Yeah.
sweater type thing. As a woman, she literally ripped this shit off, and she got in the stance like she was ready to fucking like a boop 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 like like 3-piece, maybe 4 or 5-piece before you even realize what's going on.
But yet she wanted to fight him, but also wanted their help.
No, she was screaming for other people to help her.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't screaming for them to help her. She was, at this point, she was literally like trying to fist fight. Yeah, she was trying to fist fight the police. At this point, this is when some bystanders actually got out of their vehicles on traffic to help the police to restrain her. It took up to 6 grown-ass men to restrain Sabina.
Damn.
This is where she came in screaming, "Help me." Both girls were taken to the hospital. Ursula was fighting for her life. She's the one that got literally crushed from the waist down. And 5 hours into the hospital, Sabina was released. She went to jail and didn't put up a fight during getting arrested, leaving the hospital, going into custody, going into the jail cell, or anything else. Everybody was thinking that at one point, because on the highway they were literally putting up a fight, like, "Bitch, you're gonna have to fucking fight me, you ain't taking me," type shit. To the point where when they went to the actual jail, it was just like, "Okay, cuff me, here I go, he he, ha ha ha." Like they were literally joking with the booking officers and everything else. So everyone at this point was starting to think that they were probably just high. When they took Sabina from the hospital, they didn't have to put no handcuffs on her. She was flirting with the cops. She decided to talk to a female officer about her feet. Talking about how her feet were nasty and dirty. She needed to go get a manicure and everything else. She was being charged with assaulting police officers and trespassing on the highway. Police said that they were confused by her behavior because she acted like the highway incident like literally never happened. Even when she got released, like she didn't even really realize like she got hit by the car. She never even comprehended or realized that her sister was still in the hospital from getting hit by the car. Like she acted like none of that even fucking happened. You can literally watch the videos. The bitch acts like she was clueless to what the fuck just happened. They said maybe that she didn't remember or that she literally didn't care at all, but at no point at all she even asked about her twin sister Ursula.
See that, and that's surprising.
Yeah, it really is. Like, how do you even go through something like that and not even question like, where's my twin sister, when your twin sister is literally like your life, unless you have some literally some fucked up thing that happens. That would be like the last thing you remember is being around your sister, so why wouldn't you ask? Police said they never gave any information on why they left or tried to kill themselves, because at this point they still don't know if they like why they left the house, why they tried to go out in traffic multiple times. 2 days later, Sabina was released from jail and met this guy named Glenn Hollingwill. I'm not really sure how to pronounce the last name. I'm so sorry. And an ex. So the things that I read, he was an ex-officer or he was an ex-firefighter or something like that. But he has something to do with like the county, city, whatever. His name was basically Peter. That's what we're gonna call him here. She told both of them that she was needing a place to stay for the night, and Glenn offered Sabina a room so that she wouldn't be on the streets. I'm sorry, Peter said that that's just how Glenn was. Like, he was just a person that was happy to help somebody that was on the street, that was in the need and things like that. He was just like willing and caring. As Sabina and Glenn and Peter started talking, I put the cop, but there again, I seen two different stories really. This said one, he was a cop, he was an ex-firefighter, so I don't really know. But they were all sitting around talking and everything, and the more that she came open to them, Peter started realizing that something was just off about her. He started feeling uneasy about her, something didn't feel right, and he started feeling paranoid, and he started actually getting freaked out about her, and it started actually turning into fear. So he said that she came off like she was on the run or hiding from somebody, like it was death, like death or life type situation. But Glenn gave Peter the reassurance, like he gave him this look like everything's good, like we're all good, bro. So he didn't really question it because he knew Glenn basically could take care of herself, so he didn't really question the shit. A day later, Glenn was stabbed to death. Security footage shows Sabina running from Glenn's home with a hammer.
Oh my god. So she killed him?
Yes. She starts hitting herself with it as a passing motorist. We're going to call him, I think his name was Joshua, but we're going to name him Josh.
Wait, she starts hitting herself with the hammer?
Mm-hmm.
What the?
He's seen her beating herself with the hammer. So he jumped out and he grabbed the hammer. He fought, like he literally like fought her for the hammer for the longest. He said that she was grunting and making screaming noises while they were doing this. And he felt like as a like basically like a grown ass man fighting with her, she had superhuman strength. In the process of the fight, she actually somehow was able to hit Josh in the back of the head. He thought that it was just by her hand or fist, but it was actually from a roof tile. She hauls ass away.
Where did she get the roof tile from?
So some of the things that I read was she had already had it on her in her jacket. Okay. And then other things that I read was like it was like kind of like in a weird alley street. You know how when you first get on the freeway type thing, how there's always garbage laying on the side type thing. So I'm not really sure about that. She hauls ass away from Josh, sorry. She runs to an overpass, which is like the bridge that goes over a highway. Mm-hmm. And she jumps, which was 15 meters, which would actually be 49 feet here in America. She broke both of her legs, fractured her skull.
She survived that?
Mm-hmm. She still survived.
Okay.
She spent 3 months in the hospital, just like her sister Ursula. Remember how she got ran over by the truck? She spent 3 months in the hospital. And then she ended up going to jail for the murder of Glenn. Ursula also, like I said, she spent 3 months in the hospital, but when she was released from the hospital, she literally like went back to the United States. She was like, I can't say she was like, fuck my sister, but at this point she was like, fuck my sister.
So the one who committed the murder, she was the one that had the family, right?
Yes. And she literally had her sister from the United States come over to her part of the country.
So basically,
for what?
You left your whole family.
Yeah. So medical experts say that Sabina was mentally ill during the murder in the highway incident. I might repeat this, but I'm not 100% sure if I do or don't. So the thing that got me on this, they say like 1 out of 5 to 10. I'm guessing here. I'm pretty sure they said somewhere between 1 to 5 to 10 twins that are like identical when they're born together. They literally are born with that thing where it's like, oh, we know what each other's thinking. I can finish your sentence without, you even saying it type thing. Like they have that internal thing. And this is something that the twins happen to develop later on in life, was basically like they got that thing. But my thing is why is suicide pact, bro? Like, we're sisters and we've been best friends for what, 25, 26 years? And we can literally know what each other's thinking, how we're feeling. All we have to do is give each other one certain look and we already know what's up. We don't even have to make a look, and we can just look at that person's face, the whole body language and everything, and we're just like, I know what's up. Not one time in my life did I ever look at you and give you this look like, bitch, suicide pact. I'm sorry. I should not laugh about this. It's not funny because I do not condone suicide at all. But bitch, what? So they said Sabina, I guess, like I was trying to say, I'm sorry. They have that thing where it's like, okay, perfect example. I went to a Dollar General one time and I grabbed some boxes off the very top shelf, and I went up to the cashier, and the cashier said, "How did you get this box?" And I said, "Well, it was on top the top shelf, but not the very top." And he said, "Well, if it came off the very top, it's not for sale." And I said, "No, it came from the shelf underneath. You were not even around, and you literally happened to walk up." And he started ringing it up, and you were like, "No, no, no. It should be this price," or some shit like that.
He was doing it all individual price.
Yes. And he was like, "Well, where did she get it from?" You're like, "Well, let me show you." And you were not even around.
Nope.
When I grabbed these, what was it, honey buns?
Yeah.
I didn't even grab these honey buns around you. As soon as you took him around the corner, we held up the line. Yes, bitch, this is what we do. We held up the line for you to take this man to the fucking to the aisle, and you showed him the shelf that I got it off of, low key. And when he got back to the register, he was like, "Well, those technically ain't supposed to be for sale."
He was trying to sell you, make the honey buns be $15 on something that would have cost $3. Like, no.
First of all, I'm sorry. Exactly. So, and they say this is like a literal thing, like with most of the time identical twins. This is something that happens any twins, period. Not identical twins, but like twins, period.
Right.
It's something that the twins can do. I am starting to believe. I think it's if you just spend enough time together, you just know like each other. Like we're that example. I love it because that's not only the one example. We could go for days with our examples, but we ain't gonna do that. Anyway, so the girls are heard saying, I'm sorry. It said that Sabina took on a delusional mental state, and Ursula was the one attached onto it. They say this is very common with twins, especially identical twins. This is what I was trying to say. Not literally us. I'm sorry, I forgot this part. So they're saying like, if you're identical twins, say me and you are identical twins, and I come out with like hallucinational problems and stuff like that from birth and everything else, 9 times out of 10 you will develop those same problems because you were so attached and latched on to me because everything that I do, you're right there with me. Everything you do, I'm right there with you. So when it comes to my delusional problems, you're steadily feeding into it. And it's usually the older one that has the issues that the younger one takes over. But there are some cases where the younger ones, and it, for some reason, it's mainly the identical twins. The younger one, even though, like, the younger one, like, she'll have, or he will have, like, delusional things going on, and the other identical twin is like, I'm on this shit, like, they're onto it. So it's common, but it's not like common. The girls are heard saying on the cameras, they're going to steal your organs, and the police and the paramedics are trying to, like, like, calm them down and everything. And the only thing they can keep doing is telling the police that I recognize you, you are not real.
Wait, they were telling the police that they were
Mm-hmm.
real?
So when they were, this is a backtrack, I'm sorry. When they were on the highway, when they first got hit, when the police were trying to, like, control their bodies because they had, like, human strength type things, and they were, like, trying to control them, like, stop moving, bullshit. The girls were screaming, Sabina and Ursula were screaming, like, I recognize you and you're not real. And they were also screaming, they're gonna steal your organs. And if you actually watch the video to, like, the very end of the police, like, the one girl literally, I think it's Sabina, I'm not 100% sure, but you can literally hear her say, like, they're gonna steal your organs or some shit like that. And she's screaming, like, help me, all the way up before that. So Sabina did 439 days for the murder of Glenn. And Glenn's brothers said that the justice system failed Glenn. Glenn asked the neighbor for tea bags. Literally 2 minutes after he asked the neighbor for tea bags, he came out screaming that she stabbed me. Now remember, Glenn was the one that literally seen Sabina on the street talking about she needed a place to stay. She was looking for her sister. She was lost,
right,
blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He brought her in.
But he had the bad feeling. Right.
His best friend had a bad feeling. Which used to be a firefighter / police officer. Okay. Not really sure.
He was the one that.
He was the one that had the bad feeling. Glenn actually died because of the stab wounds from Sabina. 1.5 years, she did her time. She was supposed to do 5 years, but they let her out basically a year and a day. Sabina till this day is still considered MIA.
Oh, they don't know what happened to her?
She went to jail. She served her time. When she got out, she's literally gone. They don't know anything about her, where she's at. Sabina is literally non-existent no more. They don't know anything about her. Ursula, they will not. I feel like she's in witness protection because they will say that she is in the United States, but when you Google her, you cannot find a damn thing about this lady except for this fucking story. So I'm assuming maybe she's in, like, witness protection, or she changed her name or something. Sabina, MIA. The bitch is gone. But a lot of the comments and different things that I read was like, is it like an alien thing? Did they sit there and fuck with her head? Is it a paranormal thing? Or was it literally a suicide pact that went wrong?
Interesting.
Yes.
That's an interesting story. That was a crazy story.
I fucked it all up, but I got through it.
We gotta take a break.
Yay. Okay, so now time for our little crime story. So 18-year-old Ruben Zarate. He was wanted, or I'm sorry, he wanted to rob a muffler shop in Chicago and demanded the money, but it was inside the safe. Unfortunately, the manager wasn't there to open the safe, so he decided to leave his phone number so when the manager returned that he could come back to rob them.
Wow, like,
Did you love it?
okay. I can't believe you thought that was going to work out.
A man in Stockholm, Sweden, was mad that this one now was mad that a 13-year-old had took his money and stood him up for sex. So he decided to call the 13-year-old girl's dad and tell him what happened.
What the?
So you can even imagine what happened after that fucking situation. I literally have no details on it, but I'm just going by how my daddy would fucking personally react. I'm just saying, is he even alive? Do we know? And the last one is a man was arrested on a lot of charges. But when the last charge that he was arrested on, he was asked what his occupation. I'm sorry. He was arrested and he was being arrested on a lot of things. During the arrest, they asked him what his occupation was. He decided to tell them that he was a drug dealer. So that got added to his charges.
Wow.
This happened at Take Lovely, oh so lovely, in the place of Florida. Gotta love it. Alright, guys, so that's episode
54.
54. I was gonna say 35. I don't know why I want to keep mixing it up. We hope you guys enjoyed. Please go subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram, Spooks and Crimes Podcast, or just Spooks and Crimes. As long as you see our picture, you'll know who we are. Other than that, thank you so much for listening and just sticking with us for so long.
Yeah.
Just keep listening. So, yeah, that's it. Bye.